So Symetra is a strategy card game for 1 to 6 players. There's many different play modes, including solitaire, teams, drafting, short games that last 20 minutes, long games that last 2 hours. You can play games where you wipe the board after every cycle, and then you can I also play games where you let the board expand as well. The goal of Symetra is to have the most energy in your actual energy pool at the end of the game, and that's on the right-hand side. So to start it out, each player divides their energy into 2 pools, and so what you're going to do is you're going to put 20 on your left and 30 on your right. So you can count your energy out here and go 30 on your right and 20 on your left. But yeah, you can count them out. Yeah. And you basically going to use the cards to get energy into the game. So the pool on your right is called your actual energy, and that's the actual energy you have in the game, and it is the win condition for the game as well. The pool on the left is called your potential, and that's the energy you can potentially have and the energy you're trying to get into the game by using the cards. The cards are 60 unique cards that are different elements, emotions, and energies from many different games and spiritual and philosophical traditions. The game starts out where each player takes 3 energy from their right-hand side on the actual and puts it into the universal. And this is kind of like a pot. And what's going to happen is we're going to play 3 rounds, and each player is going to get to play 1 card each round, so you're going to play 3 cards. At the end of that, whoever has the most energy on their cards is going to win their energy back from the universal into the actual. Every other player is going to lose their energy into the potential. So we're battling over this pot here, and we're using the cards to do that. So to start it out, I'm going to deal out 3 cards to each player. There we go. So what we're going to do is, in order to see who goes first, we're going to flip over the top card in turn order after the dealer, so that's you, and note its cost. And whoever flips over the card with the highest cost goes first. So you flipped over a cost of 2. You can flip over the next card. Okay. Cost of 3 right there. Cost of 1, so that means that you're going to start the first round. Okay. Put the deck over here. And I'm going to use these cards, and I'm going to grab a couple others to show you how the card breakdown works. Okay. I'll grab a neutral one. Let's grab a positive one, there we go. Actually I have Earth right here, so that's probably good. Put the deck over here. So, the card breakdown is as follows. At the top of the card you have the name of the card. To the left of that you have or to the right of that you have the icon, which shows the card type. Okay. And for this game mode that we're playing, it doesn't really come into play, so I'm not going to get into it too much other than to say that there's element cards, emotion cards, and energy cards. But you don't have to worry about that too much for this base game mode. Below that is the polarity of the card. Okay. There's 3 different polarities. Positive cards have a plus sign with a white background. Negative cards have a minus sign with a black background. And the neutral ones have a vertical line with a gray background. Beneath the name of the card are the affinities and enmities, and these are the cards that this card has a relationship with. So I'm going to put these aside so I can focus on these right here. So right here, you can see that water has affinity with earth and air, both of these cards. And I'm going to quickly see if fire is here. Maybe one, oh there it is, good, thankfully you have in hand. So here's the 4 base elements that people are pretty familiar with, right? So water has affinity with earth and air, but it has enmity with fire, which is its opposite. So the affinities and enmities come into play when you first fuse a card into the matrix. So this is what happens. So if I play water from my hand into here, I look at each card individually to see if they have an affinity match or an enmity. So when I look at water and earth, they have affinity with each other, so I get to take 1 energy from my potential on the left and put it onto water. Then I check water and air, and they also have affinity, so I get to get another one from my potential and bring it into the game. This is really good because the potential is the stuff you're trying to get into the game to score. Then when I check fire, they're actually opposites, so they're enmities. What's going to happen is, if this is his card, instead of adding adding a bead onto my card, I'm going to move an energy from his card into his potential out of the game. So it's the opposite of affinity. Affinity to get to add a card to your card, enmity you knock one off your opponent's card. However, if you control both cards, it would be silly for you to have to knock one off your own, so instead you get a double affinity and get to put one on both. That's if you control both of the opposites. Once the card is in play, you can then activate the action on the card by paying this cost. Right now, water has a cost of 1. I would pay this 1 into the universal, so it increases the stakes that are at stake. So, and then you follow the action's instructions. So water says that I get to put 2 energy from my potential onto one card that's next to it. Fire does the opposite, it gets to burn energy off a card that's next to it. So you can use your actions during your turn, but you can also use your card actions during another player's turn as a reaction. And when you do that, your action happens first. That's most of the rules for the game. The way it goes is the game proceeds in rounds, and each player has a turn during a round. And during a turn, you get to play one card from your hand into play. You get to charge one card you control with up to 3 more energy, and then you get to use each card you control once per round. Alright, so I'm just going to make sure I have the right amount here. There we go. There we go. So now we're going to start the first round. Since this card has affinity with all positive cards and light is positive, I get 1 energy from my potential onto that card. I then lock it with 1 for my actual, and then charge it with 3 more for my actual. So now I'm at max. Okay. And I draw a card to finish my turn, and then it's your go. Okay. Then I'm going to fuse Equanimity into play, which is one of the trump cards in the deck. There's 3 trump cards in the deck, and this is one of them. The reason it's so powerful is because it has enmity with all positive and negative cards, which is 50 out of the 60 cards in the deck. These are enmity, but I control both of them, so I get a beat on each. Okay. Then I'm going to check yours, and they're enmity as well. This goes to your potential. Okay. Then I lock it with 1, and charge it up to max.
So I get 2 of these.
Lock it for 1.
1 of these.
All right.
You've obviously done what this is that we don't tell anyone where
Cool.